welcome everybody to the Listen Up podcast. Today I'm joined by a special guest, Ritchie Barnes from the Double Fries No Slaw podcast. What's going on, Ritchie?
Oh man, just enjoying this Sunday morning, getting ready for this Bucks game coming up here, and it had a fun weekend in Gainesville or day in Gainesville. Not the outcome we wanted, but it was a fun trip.
Yeah, man. So you went to the game.
Yeah. I wasn't planning on it at all actually, and I got to shout out my guy. Let me go find his Twitter handle real quick. So I wasn't planning on going because I looked at the cheapest tickets were like $98. I'm not paying no $98 to go see
Yeah.
a game like this. But and I can't find his name. Anyways, someone said, "Hey, I got free tickets for you, a 50-yard line behind Florida State's bench." And one of my good friends, who's a Gator guy, was already going up to the game. So I called him, "Hey, Cody, I'm gonna ride up with you," and went to the game, man.
That's what's
Yeah,
up.
4 hours later from Orlando. That was a brutal trip. Should not take that long ever.
Yeah, dude. It takes a while, right? That traffic. And it's
Yeah,
like holiday weekend.
Yeah, all four lanes on the turnpike were shut down, so we're taking back roads in Claremont and going all over the place. It was brutal.
Man, that's crazy. That is crazy, man. So you actually went to the game, and I mean, I know you didn't. Well, did you enjoy? I don't like Gainesville though. Like I don't like the
Yeah.
campus. I don't like anything about Gainesville. So how did you like it? Like,
Yeah, so it's weird. Like my high school friends, like half of them went to UF, other half went to Florida State. Like my wedding party, half of them were UF graduates. So
right?
it's a little different for me because like I'm going up with friends and like we give each other a hard time, kind of like we all do on the timeline and whatnot. But it's
Yeah,
all in good fun. It's not like personal attacks or anything. So
yeah,
we enjoyed it. Weather was beautiful. That's about it. A nice attempted comeback, but yeah, not much to enjoy on the field.
yeah. It was kind of bad out there. So what was your impressions of the game, man? Before we really get into, I want to get your impression. What did you think about the game?
So I went in thinking we were going to win. I really did. I didn't know if Florida had quit or not, but shout out to Greg Knox on Florida. Those guys were playing hard for that man
Yeah, they
and that
did.
team. And I just, we couldn't get anything going really, right? It's the defense. I was surprised. I thought the defense would be the strength and why we were going to win the game. And
Yeah,
not that they played horribly. 24 points isn't bad. It's
right.
just that it was methodical. It was like death of a thousand paper cuts. So I'm sitting in the stands and it was frustrating, but at the same time, enjoyed the few big plays Florida State hit, but disappointing again because I thought we were going to win that game, and that's the only reason I went. If I thought we were going to lose, I would not have spent my entire day up there.
Yeah,
But it happened, so it is what it is. I'm going to watch the TV broadcast. That's the one thing about going to games, and this, Sam, is like you miss a
yeah.
lot of things.
Dude, and that's one of the reasons why I don't actually like going to football games. Like,
Yeah,
I try to go to at least two FSU games a year. I think I only did one this year, but I normally don't like going because it's like I miss so much because it's like so much is going on around you at a game that you don't even know what downs it be half the time. You know what I'm saying? A big play happens, you like, what's going on? People scream, oh, it's a big play just happened. So it's like I really hate it to be honest with you, but the viewing experience is the viewing experience. So
yeah. I'm the
man,
same, man. I'd much rather watch most games at home or even at a sports bar. I can do with that if they put the sound on. If there's no sound, I'm just staying home.
yeah,
But I'm with you, man. I want to go to one Florida State game a year. I went to two this year just because I got the free tickets yesterday. But yeah, one game a year just for the experience to go back to Tallahassee and see everything. It's fun. I'll probably be at New Orleans next year for LSU, but that might be the only one.
yeah. So man, so I guess my impressions was like I was very surprised that that we kind of played even with Florida on the offensive line and defensive line. I
Yeah,
thought we would play. I thought our defensive line would kind of probably win a little bit more than they did. They didn't play bad though. I don't think they played bad. I just think they just
yeah.
wasn't overwhelmingly better than Florida's offensive line. Um, I thought maybe if we would have dropped one or two picks, maybe they'd have played Emory the whole game.
Yeah. And that's
that
another
would have
thing. You got to
that would have
capitalize on
helped.
turnovers, but yeah. Oof.
That would have helped, dude. I mean, gosh, man. And it's like he threw those turnovers at the. It's like, damn, if Jordan Travis would have been playing when those turnovers happened, I think we actually win the game. Crazy enough,
Yeah.
right? I think we actually win the game, but unfortunately, it is
And
what it
and
is.
you saw the turn of AR-15, man. That guy's a specimen. There
It
were
really
more than a
is.
few occasions where from my vantage point, Jermaine Johnson was right there, like all over him, and he was able to just sneak away, and that was a difference because that guy he's going to be
Yeah,
special. I think in a few years, he's good. Seeing him in live, I know he didn't have the best stat line, but man, he's a good quarterback.
yeah. Whatever coach goes over there, automatic got a day one guy that he can kind of
Yeah.
like build the offense around. I mean, I think the reason why Dan Mullen wasn't playing him, to be honest with you, and I know Florida fans give him a lot of flack, but I think it's because he's immature. I think that's
Yeah.
what it is. I think it's an immaturity thing with him, and I think that kind of like with Florida State, the reason why I think Jimbo didn't play James so early was because of immaturity, and sometimes you don't want the most immature guy playing the most important position. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
sometimes you make him wait. It was to his detriment, but they wanted to fire him anyway, so it wouldn't matter. So
Yeah.
something else that kind of surprised me too in the game was I thought Fuller should have blitzed them more once he found out
Yeah.
his defensive line wasn't going to get pressure with just four. I thought he should have ran a lot more blitzes. I thought he should have gambled more on defense. And I don't think he did. I think they kind of waited for Florida to kind of give them the game. And I think that Florida just kind of got, it's like, in the second half, Florida got patient. We're just like, we'll just run the
Yeah.
football. We'll just throw easy passes and we won't just give up anything. You know what I'm saying? I think that kind of, I think Knox did do a good job. I think he
Yeah.
did do a good job. I think he did something Mullen didn't do, which was run the football. I think if Mullen would have ran the football like that the whole year, I think Florida probably would have had a better record, to be honest with you. So, but
Well, yeah, shorten the game, and that's kind of. I think that's what Mike wanted to do anyway, so that's why we were okay with it because we thought if we shorten the game, we're going to win it, right? And we did. Florida thought the same thing. And to your point, I thought our defensive line was going to be a difference, and they didn't have it. Not they didn't get beat up or anything, but yeah, like you said, they played them neutral, and that I think was the difference. That and the muffed punt, obviously, but
yeah, that
those
muff punt.
those were the big things, man.
And that's so. Let's get to the special team because I think that's one area too that I'm kind of like I went the whole season kind of watching, and I think I told you guys before the season when I was on you guys' podcast. I was like, well, if you're good on offense and good on special teams, I mean if you're good at two facets of the football game, you can probably win more games than lose.
Yeah.
Initially, they just really wasn't good on special teams at all, and it showed up like. And it's funny how your habits show up at the worst possible time. And their special team habit in this game just showed up, and it was just like really disgusting, man. I mean, the muff punt, and he didn't just muff the punt; he muffed the punt and act like he didn't muff it. Like he was like, "Well, man, I touched it, but I mean, I should get to it. Maybe I shouldn't." Like, dude, go tackle the guy that's closer to the football. Even if you can't get
Yeah.
to the football, just hit the other guy. Give you guys an opportunity to at least get the fumble. Like he did none of that. He just.
And that
Uh,
was the frustrating part, Sam. Like you said, it'd be one thing if we'd been solid on special teams all year, and that happens. You're like, oh my! At that point, you can get upset, but you're like, that's a fluke. Whatever.
yeah,
But it was not surprising. I rode up with 3 Gator fans in the car. Had to
yeah.
ride back with them. I was surrounded by Gators with a couple Knowles around. But yeah, when that happened, like some of these Gator fans, like, I can't believe that just happened. I'm like, I can. You haven't
Yeah.
watched us all season. We either don't even bother trying to catch the punt or we don't catch it.
Right. Yeah,
That's all it is.
it's disgusting, man. I don't understand what's going on special teams. I mean, they've been so bad at
No.
punt return
And they were good
and
last
fielding
year.
punts, and they've tried 6 or 7 guys back there, and
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all can't find anybody to catch a punt, and that's kind of been. And the punter, he had his worst game of the year, I think. He had a couple good ones, but
Yeah.
I mean, he had a couple ones that I just like, what's going on, my guy? So,
And on the
let's
other
see.
side, it was frustrating because Florida's punter had like the best day of his year. He was terrible, trash all year long. And yesterday he had the hang time, was put it where he wanted to. And granted, that one muff punt probably could have been a 15-yard return or so if he catches it because he had plenty of space from where I saw.
Yeah, man, he did have a lot of space, man. So so the season's over. I don't want to harp too much on the game, 'cause I think we all kind of know what happened with the game. And I think
Yeah.
everybody's done enough breakdowns of it. Your season, what do you think about the season? I mean, we all talking about on the timeline this morning. Everybody's a little frustrated. People are frustrated. People that's frustrated. I mean, everybody's upset. So
Oh yeah.
what do you think about the season? I mean, we came on a pod. I think I came on you guys' pod. I predicted 5-7, 6-6.
Yep.
I didn't know that Clemson, Florida would be down. I didn't
Yep.
think Wake Forest would be the best team in the conference, which they was.
Mhm.
I didn't think North Carolina would be as bad as they was. They was pretty bad. Like they regressed terribly. So it's a I don't want to call the conference weak because I do think of a Wake Forest win the conference. I think Wake Forest can play with anybody in the country. I
It's
don't
down.
think
It's a down conference year. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't want to call it. I don't think it's that far. I don't think it's that down. I think
Yeah,
they call the conference down when the blue blood don't win the conference. But I think
fair.
Wake Forest and Pitt will play with any team in the country other than
Yeah.
Georgia and probably Michigan, maybe. I think yeah, probably
How about
Michigan State.
Michigan?
Yeah, how about that? But so I want to call the conference down. But if you'd have told me Wake Forest would be the best team in the conference, that would surprise me. So what do you think
Yeah.
about the season overall?
I'm still trying to figure out what to think about it because it was a weird year, right? We start 0-4, with an inexcusable loss to Jacksonville State. That's an unforgivable sin. And people point to yesterday about the bowl. No, that Jacksonville State cost you that bowl game, right? Because if you win that, you don't even have to
Right.
worry about yesterday. Unforgivable. But then you had a lot of nice moments, right? That North Carolina game where they actually, it wasn't like last year was a fluke. They kind of dominated that game. I know they
Yeah.
went down 0-10, but from there, they kind of controlled the entire game.
Right.
You play Clemson, and I know they're down again, but that defense is still elite.
Yeah.
In theory, if you could pull off a miracle play, you beat them, right? Instead, you
Right.
lose by 10 because of the turnover. You beat Miami, which I will not let that go ever because that wins
Yeah.
over rivals count. I don't know, man. I don't know if I wouldn't say it's a disappointing season. I'd say 5-7 is definitely disappointing if you're a Florida State fan. So if you see five
Yeah.
and seven, you're a Florida State fan, you're upset. You have a right to be. But I did see growth throughout the season, and
Right.
and I know people killed Sanone for saying that. I don't know. I think next year's everything, right? You go 5-7 next year. We need a new head coach. But if you can
Yeah.
hit the transfer portal, because there are going to be holes to fill, then he might be cooking with something. I don't know. It's just a weird season from 0-4 to where we are now.
It is weird. I think the whole college football season has been weird, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. I mean, we're seeing some very strange results this year, and I think it's because quarterback play across the country is actually down. I think that has
Yeah.
a lot to do with it. Man, it's tough because I didn't expect for them to go 0-4 to start the season, and that counts to me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, that counts to me. So I thought the biggest problem with the season was it took him too long to settle on the quarterback. I thought he should have settled on, we talked about this a little bit off the camera, but I thought that you have to bring in a quarterback with 2 legs and 2 shoulders. All right? Like, just bare minimum. You got to do that. I don't think they did a good enough job developing Chuba. I thought at worst, maybe he could have been your second quarterback, but you needed somebody that could lead, that you didn't just fall apart when Jordan Travis wasn't playing.
Yeah.
So now it's making me wonder when Jordan Travis wasn't practicing, what did they look like? Maybe the team was hard to evaluate, right? Like now I'm
Yeah.
trying to think like, well, maybe it is hard to evaluate if Jordan Travis is not practicing because now you don't know what you're looking at anymore. And I think they got to find a way to get competent QB play from the guys that's not starters. It really starts and ends with that position. So I can't I got it like it was an F the beginning of the season, right?
Yeah.
And then you go to the
Absolutely.
second
Yeah.
half of the season and you look at, well, okay, they did beat they beat North Carolina. North Carolina is what, 5-7 too, I think, right? I think they was five and
I'm
seven
not
because they
sure the
lost
final.
against
I know the
NC.
NC. How about
Yeah,
that loss?
yeah. I mean, with Mac Brown is a situational idiot.
Yeah.
Like him and Manny
Yeah.
Diaz definitely went to school together, and Manny Diaz sat in the front row of that class with Mac Brown. So
Yeah.
they just situationally terrible. I mean, what can you say? If it comes to them having to coach their way out of a game,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
probably going to lose that game. But
Yeah.
so North Carolina wasn't great. You beat you, but you
No.
did dominate North Carolina. I thought you did a good job beating Boston College because I didn't think you was going to win the Boston College
No.
game.
Neither do I.
Even going into that game, I didn't think you was going to win that game. But you did win the Boston College game, and I think I did pick Florida State, but I didn't think they would actually win. But you beat Boston College. That was a big win. You beat
Yeah.
Miami. I thought that was a big win because Miami was playing good football, and still is playing good football.
Yeah.
Um, the Florida loss is just kind of like it's kind of almost unforgivable a little bit to me because it's like, dude, they fired everybody before they played you.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got outcoached by some GAs. Like I don't know, like
Yeah. In Norvell, even Monday, he said it, and I thought I loved his answer. He was asked about the game. He gave a very passionate. He's like, "We know what this game means. Like,
yeah,
He's like, we know what this means to the fans, the program, everyone." And yeah, like it's a rivalry game. Things happen, so I'll stop just short of unforgivable, but it's a game that it could have done so much for this program, and this conversation would be so different if we had won yesterday. And they should have. I really think they should have.
I think so. I actually think if Jordan Travis doesn't get hurt, I think with them turnovers that happened early in the game, I think if
Hmm.
he's on the field, I think he does score at least
Yeah.
a field goal or a touchdown, and I do think that changes the game altogether. But I mean, at the end of the day, though, you brought Mackenzie Milton here. You know what I'm saying? Like
So,
you brought
so
him here.
I have two hypotheticals for you at the again, season's over, so I'm just curious to get your thoughts. First one, if Jordan Travis's helmet never comes off against Notre Dame, does Florida State win that Jacksonville State game? Because I think Jordan Travis starts in that scenario. And two, if Mackenzie Milton does not come to Florida State, is Chuba Purdy still here and potentially win yesterday because his skill sets, he's not as good as Jordan Travis, but it's
Right,
similar enough.
right. You know, and see that's something that I go back to the coaching staff because
Mm-hmm.
one helmet coming off shouldn't make you change mid-season or mid-game who your starter is. Your starter
Mm-hmm.
is your starter. So, and that's something I kind of blame Mike Norvell for because I'm like,
Yeah.
the helmet came off. Okay, cool. He was driving you down the field in that Notre
Yeah.
Dame game, and I think he actually wins that game.
He had
If
40
he,
yards on the drive at that
yeah,
point. Yeah.
yeah, I think he actually wins that game, and I picked him to win the Notre Dame game.
Yeah.
So then, what changed between that helmet coming off?
Just one pass. That's all it was. Just one pass. And all
And
of a
then you
sudden, like,
go to the
oh, I got a new
next
quarterback.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
I
then you go
agree.
to the
I
next
agree.
game with a whole new
Yeah.
quarterback and a whole new plan. Like, and that I just and
Yeah.
that and to me that just kind of shows that Mike is he's a young coach. You know what I'm
No, I
saying?
think
He's a
you
young
I think you
coach.
tweeted it. He's learning on the job, right? And
Yeah,
at
he's learning
Florida
on the
State,
job.
we don't want anyone learning on the job, but he is. And
Yeah,
that's where we are right now. And Florida's about to find out too. They want Billy Napier. He's going to learn on the job too if they do
yeah,
pick him.
yeah. I heard the staff he's putting together might be pretty good though. So I'm gonna hold my
I hope
judgment on
not.
a
I
bit.
hope not.
I'm hearing some interesting names, but I'm gonna hold my judgment until all this stuff is
Yeah.
official because I don't want people saying, "I hear go Sam with his
Yeah.
scary whatever." I'm scared of Billy Napier or whatever they like to say, but
Yeah.
but I think though I just think that it's weird, man, because you judging this season in groups.
Yeah.
I do think the guys played hard for Mike Norvell. I thought the guys played hard for Willie in 2019. I thought the guys had gave up on the Jimbo in 2007. What? 17. I thought
17,
they
yeah.
gave up. I thought they gave up on the Willie in 2018. I thought 19 Willie played against a little bit better teams. Clemson was
Yeah.
a national championship. I
Monster.
think they won a national championship that year. Yeah, they was a national championship team that year. So
Trevor Lawrence. Yeah.
yeah, Trevor Lawrence was on that team. So I mean, it's a little different. I mean, some teams it ain't about you quitting; they're just so much better than you that they're gonna blow you the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? So, Florida was a New Year's Six bowl team that year also, and
Yeah.
But overall, I just think we're kind of in the same place we was last year and in 2019. We're kind of left saying the pieces that are coming in, are they going to be enough? And I think that's where my mindset is kind of moved to that part of, are we going to be able to bring in the foundational pieces to where we win more than 6 games? Or are we going to bring in the pieces that solidify 6 games that says, okay, at worst, we're going to win 6 games?
Absolute worst case.
I think that's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so he got to find a quarterback. He got to find a guy behind Jordan. He don't have to be better than Jordan Travis, but he need to be able to do some things that Jordan Travis does that doesn't kill your offense. Can't die when your starter leaves. Like, we saw even under much as everybody hates Jimbo. I hate bringing up Jimbo, but I watch a lot of A&M and But even when A&M quarterback got hurt, it didn't blow up the season. You know what I'm saying? It can't, like, your quarterback getting hurt can't blow your season up. You have to recruit a little bit better at position. So, maybe Tate Rodemaker takes another step and he's better and he's ready. I don't know.
Well, I think of 2009. Remember Christian Ponder got hurt and EJ Manuel had to step in for that Wake Forest game. And Jimbo, I thought it was the best game he's ever called, or one of them.
Yeah,
but he did it perfectly for EJ. Florida State wins that game. Granted, EJ was a 5-star, right? But waiting in the wings. But at the same time, I agree. You got to have somebody behind Jordan Travis, because I do think you can win. I think you could win 10 games with Jordan Travis if you have the right pieces around him. And this recruiting class, I'm excited about it, man. If you sign everyone that's committed right now, I love it. But it won't be enough to save Mike's job, right? He's got to hit it in the portal again. Like you said, find a backup quarterback and get some other pieces in the portal, because that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to need a center. I don't think the center has to be great, but I think you need to be at least at the level of Maurice Smith, so your offensive line isn't killed when Maurice Smith get hurt. I mean, That's just crazy to me.
You need to find a defensive end in the portal because you're losing two monsters.
Dude, I don't know how you replace that, dude. And I want
You
to say
don't.
this
You
about
can't.
Jermaine. Jermaine has like, I thought he would be good. I didn't think I didn't think he would be that good. I didn't think he'd be a. I
Phenomenal.
didn't. He's a top 15 player in my opinion at Florida State. So I mean, I'm really like, yeah. You got to replace Jermaine. I think your defensive backs are fine. I would still take depth if I can find it. I mean, because of what you're bringing in the recruiting class, I think your defensive backs are good. But quarterback in the middle of that offensive line, because I think if you get two offensive tackles, you can push Darius Washington and Robert Scott to the inside. And I think if you got two, and they hit on one offensive tackle, the JUCO that came from UC, that's going to be coming from UCF. So you got that guy, you bring in another guy, and if you can push Washington and Scott in the middle, that means now you have 4 tackles on your team that can play college football tackle positions, right? So you're not dead when one of them get hurt. And it's just going to be an important offseason for Jordan Travis. He got to put on 15 pounds, man, or 10 pounds of muscle. Like, he has to get stronger. I mean, after that flu, he looks like a slot wide receiver. He doesn't look like a quarterback, man. You know what I'm saying? He don't look like a quarterback at all. So they got a lot of this is an important offseason for Florida State in general, in my opinion, because I do think you can't keep following up these 5-win season with 6-win season with 5-win season with 6. You won't become Nebraska, because I think in the South a team can flip pretty fast, but you will be stale. You know what I'm saying? You will be stale.
We see the trolls, right? Like saying, "Oh, Florida State's Nebraska," and you cannot argue against it right now, right? Because that's where we are. But I do think Florida State has a much easier path to get back to top 10 program status. Nebraska's never getting back. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know if you have any Nebraska listeners to your show, man.
No,
they're never coming back. Florida State can. It's going to be hard, like, because a lot of teams across the country are investing a lot of money in football. We got to match that. I think Michael Alford's doing a pretty good job of that, or trying to jumpstart that.
Well, they got to get an AD, man. They got to.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
If Alford's the AD, if he's the AD,
name him. Yeah,
name him. Like, let's just get past this part, because there's a lot of things that need to get done around here, man. And I don't think I don't think you're going to be able to hire the type of people you want to be able to hire to get those things done unless you get an AD.
Corbin ain't doing shit right now, right? He's just chilling. He's like, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, like when he found out he was not going to be the next president, which he wanted, he's like, all right, I'm just chilling. Like, name Michael Alford the AD and find a new CEO of the Boosters.
All right, well, let's take a few callers, man. I got Brandon from the road. We got Brandon from the road coming on to the show. I think maybe
depending on where in South Carolina he's at, that service might be spotty.
Yeah, I don't know what he thought was going to happen here. I'm going to remove Brandon. Don't think this video work. Well, Brandon's not on the show. Hold on, let me get this other link out, man. Yeah, but
yeah, the season as a whole, like, I get why people are upset, right? 5-7 sucks. Like, another year, another bowl. 4 years in a row, we're not going to a bowl game. Or is that 3 years? But
you went. It's frustrating. You went in 19.
Yeah, 19.
You didn't
against Arizona. Was that Arizona State?
Arizona State. You didn't go in 20. And you're not going to 21.
So 3 of the last 4 years, no bowl.
That's like 30. That's 30 practices that you missed.
Yeah, and that's the main reason I wanted to win yesterday, was for those practices, because we had started doing, quote unquote, a youth movement. We're playing a lot of younger players,
right?
And if you go to bowl game, Jermaine Johnson, Keir Thomas, they're not going to play. So that's great practice and a lot of reps for these young guys that are going to be part of the solution, if we have a solution going into next year.
Right. Yeah, and that's the part that kind of made me mad. I'm like, damn, we could have got those practices, and I thought it could have been really big going forward. All right, Brandon, what's going on? Brandon, are you talking? I'm gonna have to remove you. You're ruining my show.
Yo, what's up, everybody, man?
There we go.
You got me, man.
No, Brandon, we don't have you. Okay, I'm gonna have to take it back off. All right. But no, it's gonna be an interesting offseason though, man. It's gonna
Yeah.
be an interesting off because the good thing about it is I think you're gonna have enough guys that's played a lot on the offensive line and on the defensive line. I think wide receiver wise, I think you can be better. Um, and I think the wide receivers, I don't think that's so much that they're not talented as much as everybody's saying. I think that's more of a scheme thing. I think Mike kind of leaves a lot to be desired in the scheme as far as the wide receivers, the route tree and stuff. Um, like I said, if I was him, I would hire another set of eyes for the offense. I would probably hire me a NFL wide receiver coach if I could find a guy like that. I ain't saying I don't know if you can or not, but I would hire somebody that got like experience in the complex passing game that maybe can add a little bit more to my passing game to help me free up wide receivers.
Yeah.
And that's something I would do. Because I mean, overall, I think McClain can be a good player. I think if they get Hill in, I think Hill can be a good player. I think Pokey is a good player. I think Pokey's just not a number one. I think Pokey's a number 2 or number 3.
Yeah. We have a bunch of number 2s right now, right?
Yeah, well, we got a bunch of 3s
get a number
and
1.
2s.
Yeah, get a number one.
Yeah,
we
don't
have
number one.
We thought Parsons would be that one, but
and I don't know. And I guess another big thing that I don't know is what are you going to do with Hunter next year? Because I do think Hunter's talented, but I don't know how much he improves you winning percentage. Maybe if you put him on punt return, that changes a lot on the punt return. Maybe you're good for 2 TDs a year with him on punt return. At defensive back, how much does he change the mentality of that defensive back room? I think the room is in good shape with Cooper and Hunter. Brownlee.
Knowles,
Knowles. I think the defensive backfield is in good shape. How much does Hunter transform the way they work, the way they play? Like, can he have a Jermaine Johnson type influence? But it's hard to do that when you're just 18 years old trying to find your way. Everybody's not going to be LaMarcus Joyner that has a whole different way of doing things. Let's see if we got Brandon now. All right.
Yo, what's up, man? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, man, you're good. Go ahead, man.
Okay, good, man. I'm trying to figure out this, from the phone situation. But no, man, I just, first of all, thanks, man. I appreciate you, Ritchie, jumping on, man. I'm on the way back into town from South Carolina, so I appreciate you jumping on and helping Sam, man.
For sure, man.
But, what I wanted to say was, in my opinion, I thought this game really was like a difference in talent. Like, we haven't seen an offensive line that was nearly as good, and we haven't seen wide receivers that were nearly as good as well, right? So for the first time, I think we could look at it and say, yeah, if we had a little bit more talent, also had Jordan Travis, I think, gotten early, you got these 3 drives, you could say this may go a little different. But I thought the biggest thing was, like, early on, it looked like almost like Florida had more energy, more hype, and more, I won't say passion, but like they really wanted to be there. And I don't know how that happened. I think I asked you that, Sam, yesterday. Like, how does like Florida State not get up for this game against Florida? You know what I mean? Like, they should have been hyped. They should have been, you know what I mean? Like, let's come out, put them to bed early, because I do think had we got up early, you know what I mean? You go up to 14 7 lead, even 10-7 lead, and I think that game goes differently because I think Florida was ready to quit. They were basically riding off bravado, and we let them basically just continue to have it. So that was, I think, the biggest thing for me. Like, I don't understand why they didn't seem like they had a lot of fire and passion early on in that game, and Florida essentially looked like they kind of just out-passioned them in a ball game that I think had you came and said, let's put these guys away early, I think they quit.
Yeah, I think. Well, like I said on the podcast when we were talking about Florida quit, they won't play hard and this and that. I think I said that I believe that if they was playing in Tallahassee, that would change it. Like, if they was in Tallahassee, I think there's a bigger chance that they would quit in Tallahassee. But the fact they playing in Florida, I thought that you, as a coaching staff, you probably can get them excited for one game to play hard. And I do think Florida State wasn't overwhelming them with talent either. But another thing about that's kind of crazy is, like, South Carolina didn't overwhelm them with talent, and neither did Missouri.
Oh.
But they did play hard against Missouri. So I don't know, man. Like, football is just weird, man. These one game, one season type games just become very weird. Like, who would have thought a 6-5 Auburn team would have pushed Alabama to a 10-1 Alabama team to the brink yesterday?
4 overtimes. Oof.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who would have
Yeah.
thought that? You know what I'm saying? Who would have thought Michigan, that's kind of been, to most people's eyes, mediocre, would basically curb stomp Ohio State yesterday. I mean, to me, they kind of
Dominate the game.
Yeah, I mean, they on the line of scrimmage, they looked at superior than Ohio State to me. I mean, who would have thought that? I mean, sometimes it just gets
nobody
weird.
saw Clemson not even going to Charlotte this year, right? It has been. And I wonder how much all of these, 6-year COVID players play a role in that too, because it messes up scholarships. And this might be a multiple year effect for college football, trying to figure out these rosters, because a lot of teams, including ours, still don't know. There's probably players that want to come back that Mike probably should say, no, I think you should go to grad school, or I think you should enter the workforce at this point, because I need these scholarships.
Yeah, I think that's going to be, man, figuring that out is going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. Man, if anybody else want to join in, man, I'm going to drop the link right here in the comments, man. If you want to hop in and say your piece, it's going to be the last live show of the year. I'm done with these live shows for the rest of the year. But
I can't wait. I agree, man.
Dude, it's crazy. But yeah, man. But I mean, overall, I think Norvell got to do a better job roster management. I ain't saying he got to be Mel Tucker and hit on every recruit, but I'm saying he got to be close to fuck. He needed. I think when I counted up, it looked like it was more like 50-50. I think he hit on. I think he need to hit on more like 70, 75 of these portal recruit thing. I think he need to hit like to really get back where he need to. I think he got to really hit on some of these portal guys. I think he need a middle linebacker. I think because you want to better move the Loach over one, so he's not your middle, and you don't want Lundy playing a lot, right? Nothing against Lundy. He tries really hard, but I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. I do think Jamie Robinson coming back is going to be a big deal. He's really good. I like Jamie Robinson. He hit on Jamie Robinson. And can you find 2 quality defensive ends, man? Because I mean, you're going to need them. I don't know if McClendon can be the every down defensive end at this level. I do think he can give you quality snaps.
And even if you do, and it doesn't look great right now, even if you get a Marvin Jones Jr., is he going to be ready year 1 to be that guy? I don't know. I don't think he would be. He's probably a year 2 guy.
Right. And I'm thinking that I think next year will be the opposite of what this year was, where you kind of say, I think a lot of your tough games are probably going to be a little bit in the front than it is in the back. Okay, we got Till Dog. Till Dog, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's good, fellas?
How's it going?
Not much. What's going on, man? What's your thoughts? Last live show of the year.
Well, my thing is I've been saying for a while now. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Hey.
Yeah, go ahead.
We can hear you.
Well, my
Okay, I'm gonna have to probably. You good?
I'm good now.
Okay. Go ahead. You said something? Minute is 33. I'm about to bring you back to a dog.
So I know that from experience, trying to StreamYard and cell phones don't work out well together typically.
No, dude, they do not work out well together.
It's hard.
Let me see. I think he's ready now. All right, you ready, Till? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm good, man.
All right, what you got to say? That's funny. Is he talking now? You ready, Till?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, go ahead. What's your thoughts?
Something I've been saying like for the last 2 or 3 years, man. We got to get more physical, man. Especially like when it came to yesterday. On a lot of the tackling, man, it's like
Yeah, your phone keep going out, Till. I'm about to try somebody else. She keep going out. I can't hear that you saying.
But yeah, no, and go
But
back
he's
to what Brandon said, like he was right too as far as the passion. I don't think Florida State came out flat. I just thought Florida came out with that extra extreme passion. And I
You
looked
think
no
so?
further. I do, and I think they felt the energy in that stadium because there was a good number of Florida State fans. That game was sold out, man. It truly was. I know there's some pictures around noon. Even we tweeted from our account how it was empty. That was traffic because I was stuck in that traffic. I didn't get inside till like 12:20. But there was that crowd was passionate. It kind of reminded me of the Odell game in 2017 when Jimbo left against Florida State. Obviously, we're going to win that game regardless.
Right.
But the people that did show up, they were invested, engaged, and wanted to win. And that's how those Gator fans were, man. They were invested. I had to go to the bathroom and just leave my seat when they started singing the Tom Petty between third and fourth quarter. I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I have Gator fans putting their hands around me trying to wave back and forth. Like, no, I'm out of here. I can't not do this.
Right. I don't think it was I think a lot of the physicality thing becomes, can you get in position to make the play, right? So if guys are swarming to the ball because they're in position, I think it's hard for a defensive back to tackle a running back in open space. You know what I'm saying? Like,
especially when like P. Ryan, he's a big dude.
Yeah, P. Ryan and Pierce, the guys are kind of hard.
Or Pierce,
to
excuse me, not Pierre. P. Ryan's
Yeah.
gone. Pierce, excuse me.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tackle in space. You know what I'm saying? So if you call a defense that's matching up a linebacker or a safety on a running back, and then that running back catches a swing pass, that's kind of tough. That's going to be hard. And then guys got to get off of blocks. I don't think it was a physicality thing. I think a lot of this stuff is scheme. I think Florida kind of out-schemed them a little bit. And I think Florida State's seen a more physical team than what they've probably seen all year. I think Florida was probably a little bit more physical than what Florida State has seen most of the year, I think.
And people don't want to hear it, but that's what the SEC does, right? Even their bad teams are physical, right? Vanderbilt's a physical team. They're just not any good.
Yeah, they're not even good. Yeah, it's true. Like, even South Carolina's they're physical. You know what I'm saying? I think Florida State had to adjust a little bit to their physicality, but I don't think Jermaine Johnson was blowed off the football or anything. I don't think our D-line was blowed off the football or anything like that. I mean, I just think it's different when you get those backs in space like that against DBs. I mean, they're gonna have a hard time. I mean, think about it. Our best linebacker is 220 pounds.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not a big linebacker.
It's tiny in this day.
You know what I'm saying?
And again, you don't need a 250 pounder, but you need like 235, 240.
Yeah, 235, and that can run.
Exactly.
We don't really have that guy on the roster yet, so they got to go find that guy. That's going to be important, man. But we get up on a minute, on 40 minutes. So what is your expectations, man, going into the offseason? What's a win for the offseason? What's a win for the offseason for you?
You have to find a true pass rusher in the portal, right? Because losing Jermaine and Kier, that's brutal. Because those guys, without those two, it's probably like a 3-9 team, right? Jermaine Johnson won the Miami game for you himself. So yeah, it's all about the portal. I don't know if there's going to be any coaching changes. I wouldn't mind seeing a change at maybe wide receivers. Fuller, I think he did enough to keep his job at this point. Yeah. I think it'd be foolish to move on from him, because then you're going to get a whole new scheme in year 3 of what really is going to be a hot seat year for Coach Norvell. I think the portal, if he can match the success in the portal from last year, I think that's enough to get us to 8-9 wins next year. Because LSU should be down. That's a game that, 6-7 months ago, I was like, man, we got to play LSU to start next year after Duquesne. But no, that's a game you should win in New Orleans. You should beat LSU. So we'll see. I think the portal is going to be the key to the offseason, in my opinion.
Man, that is tough. I don't know if we got more talent than LSU. That's going to be tough for me. I got to go back and look, because I don't know.
We'll see who they hire, too.
I got to see who they hire. I got to see it. Then whoever they hire, how many recruits comes with that coach. Mm-hmm. That's going to change a lot. Damn, LSU, that's tough. I can't.
It's a huge game, though. If you can win that game, that does a lot.
I mean, you start off 2-0 if you win the game, because you play Duquesne.
Duquesne, yeah.
Duquesne.
Well, okay. It'll be our first season opening win in 6 years.
Damn, really? 6 years?
Yeah, Ole Miss 2016 was the last time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
because he had Bama, Virginia Tech, Boise, and everything since then. So.
Yeah, that's a toughie. I guess, man, if Lincoln, I mean, the rumor is Lincoln's gonna go to LSU, man. I gotta see this stuff to believe it, man.
Yeah,
I think we've had a lot of talk about coaches moving. A lot of these coaches are not moving. They don't want to go to unstable situations. I think
Oklahoma's a better job right now, like in current day. Well, for him, because he can keep doing what he's doing and never get fired. He goes to LSU. If he has a couple 3-4 loss seasons, he'll be out in 4 years. So he's
Yeah.
got it kind of cushy at Oklahoma.
But I think he'll win a national
Higher
championship.
ceiling
there,
at
though.
LSU. Yeah, higher ceiling at LSU for sure.
Yeah. But if you look at Lincoln and you say, if you're Lincoln, you say, man, I'm going to go to LSU, win a national championship, and I go to NFL in 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how you look at it.
Well, he can get to the NFL from Oklahoma if he wants
Yeah,
to.
he can't go to there,
Like
but
we
I don't
saw
think he
with the Kingsbury,
I don't know if
he
he
was
win a
terrible
national-
in college.
But does he win a national championship at Oklahoma? I don't know.
No, if he hasn't done it yet,
I don't know.
has he won a playoff game there? I think they lose every year in the first round, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lose every year in the first round.
The weight's hard. I agree with that. They do need to. I was joking around on the timeline earlier saying that let Jordan Travis transfer to Alabama for the offseason just for the strength program and then bring him back, and we'll be good from there.
Dude, he's got to gain a lot of weight, man. He got to gain a lot of weight. I mean, he got to gain some muscle.
But he gained a good bit of weight from last year to this year,
Right.
Because he was really tiny last year. So if he continues that progress, and there's a lot of people saying we need a new starting quarterback. I don't think that's the case, man. I think Jordan Travis is the dude. I like that guy.
Yeah,
I think he's a really good college quarterback.
Yeah, you build around him, man, and you try to get him in. I mean, I think you build around him and you try to. I think he can win 8 games in this conference, man. I think he can win 8 games in this conference, man. So I don't think it's. I think you need to have a quality backup behind him. If you think Duffy can do that, cool. I don't personally think Duffy's ready to play yet.
Not as a true freshman.
Not as a true freshman. So I would try to get a senior guy, a junior guy, just somebody that's equal to Jordan Travis that I think can be equal to Jordan Travis, that can develop and can give me some starter reps if I need 2 or 3 games, you know. But
Can we get Parsons in a year early, graduate high school early? Because I think he might be better than Duffy.
I do think Parsons is better than Duffy, but that's a whole other conversation. It's going to split the fan base again. You know, we love quarterback competitions.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I guess my expectation would be let's finish the signing class. Let's see where we're at with that.
Mm-hmm.
Find some defensive end transfers. Find a middle linebacker, and get me another offensive tackle in here, man.
Yeah,
get me another
need
offensive tackle.
One more.
Need just one more, I think, and I think we can start looking at maybe 8 games, maybe if the injury luck breaks right again.
It has to be a minimum of 7 next year, right? Otherwise,
well, he can't
fall
to
move
6.
On.
He can't go 6-6 again next year. I mean, that's
you can't.
That's disgusting.
And I don't think Coburn will be here, but he said it, right? 6-6 isn't good enough, right? That's what our current AD said.
Yeah, but
I get the situation right now, but next year
he's eating his words for that. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, Coburn's just an empty suit. I mean, he just said what he was sent out there to go say.
He was told to say, yeah.
I mean, he's just an empty
Thrasher
suit.
wrote it for him. He's like, all right, go say this.
I'll say this, cool, you know. But I guarantee they wish they wouldn't have said that now. But
well, like you said, as far as the offseason, another one, and we talked about it. Name an AD, whether it's going to be, Alford or someone else. Let's get an athletic director in place so we can get this structure right, because it's got to be structured right from the top down. If it's not, this is what we get, right? And this is where we are. Yeah,
and you don't want to be looking for another coach with a first-year AD trying to navigate.
Who's never hired a college coach before.
Yeah, you don't want to have to. Yeah. You don't want to do that. So let's just try to get the AD in here. Let's hope Mike has a 7-win, 8-win season, and hope that AD gets a whole year on the job before he have to go through a coaching search. Because I mean. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see what that looks like. A first-time AD trying to, even though I know a lot of Miami fans. I mean, I think Miami did the right thing by firing their AD.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a good idea if they fire Manny.
No, they have to bring Manny back. They have to.
I think they do.
I
think they don't want to hear that. I do think you have to bring him back. And I don't know if you want to hire AD next week. It didn't take another 2 weeks to hire a coach. I mean, I think that it will collapse their program, whether they believe it or not.
Yeah. They'll sign 2 guys in the recruiting class if that's the case. Like,
you probably lose 3 guys off the roster or 4 guys off that roster, and
more
you
than
already
that.
lost a lot of
be
guys
a mass
off the
exodus.
roster. Yeah, and you already lost a lot of guys off the roster. So if I was them, I would probably stand pat and just suck it up and just deal with Manny. Blowing 3 games a year. I mean,
I'll tell Mike to call up Derek King and say, hey, come battle Jordan Travis, right?
Yeah, he can just go. I'm done with the quarterbacks with bad legs and shoulders. I'm good. They can have a good day, bro. I'm out of that. I'm out of that Make-A-Wish program with the quarterbacks. Like, enough is enough. I am done. I don't want to see another quarterback on ESPN no more unless he's playing undefeated football. I'm done. Yeah,
Real quick funny story from the game yesterday. That like Mackenzie Milton comes in, right?
yeah.
And like there's some Florida fans around me, and they're like, "Oh man, he's better than Jordan Travis." And I'm looking back, I'm like, "You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like you have not seen Mackenzie Milton this year versus Jordan Travis this year." But like outside perception is always fun for me, seeing what other fan bases think versus what we kind of know what's going on.
Right. Yeah. Everybody thinks a backup quarterback's good, but it's the reason why he's a backup.
My freshman year was it was Drew Weatherford versus Xavier Lee, and that was an ongoing battle among the dorms for like multiple years until they both left eventually.
The Adrian McPherson versus who was Adrian McPherson versus? Was it Wyatt Sexton or was it
Sexton was there because it was McPherson.
Or was it Chris Ricks?
I think it was Ricks, yeah, because it was McPherson Ricks, and then McPherson had the gambling or blank check or something issue going on.
You want to know a tragic story? The Adrian McPherson story is tragic. Because, he was about to end up on the NFL roster for New Orleans under Sean Payton. And he gets hit by a medical cart coming off the practice field one day. Ends his career.
I had no idea.
True story. Ends his career, dude. Like, he literally battled back off the check cashing thing.
I've never heard that story.
John Elway was the arena football president, owned the arena football team. Had Adrian McPherson was like, yo, this kid's going to be he's an NFL quarterback. Like, this guy just needs a chance. Goes to the Saints, practices. They like, yo, this kid is good. We'll develop him. I think he's an NFL quarterback. He can at least be our backup. Has like a great week of practice and like literally gets hit by a medical cart, ends his career.
I don't know how I've never heard that story.
Crazy story. Go look it up. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen.
No, well, I was
like, yo, that's
because he was like, we just saw him yesterday. He was like kind of like AR-15, right? Like he was just a specimen, like who could throw the ball a mile, and had just the talent ceiling was so high for him. Just like unfortunate, I think it is for that kid down in Gainesville.
Yeah, but yeah, man. Look at the Adrian McPherson story. Saddest shit I've ever seen. I was like, no, that's crazy because he got caught up in some crazy check cashing thing, which he didn't do.
Yeah.
And then he ends his career while medical cart.
Bro, real quick, our players get popped for the dumbest shit, right? The Dillards, Peter Warwick, like Chris Ricks parking in handicap spots. Like, what are we doing in Tallahassee?
Yep, this is true. We have not had enough injured quarterbacks. We want to bring them all here for some reason. I don't know what the fan base got going on. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe Dylan is going to be completely 100% healthy.
Yeah. See if Dan Kendra has any eligibility left, right?
Well, man, that is the show, and I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna try to get some pods out for you guys during the off season. You know how I am during the off season, though. I try to actually have a real off season, unlike everybody else. There's a lot of other podcasts like the Double Fries No Slaw podcast. They cover volleyball, soccer, basketball. You about to fire up for basketball, right?
Yeah, I did my first basketball minute last week, and huge game Tuesday. I'm not overly optimistic. Florida State travels to Purdue in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Purdue's number 3 in the country. I just hope we keep it close, but I do believe in Ham this year, and I'm excited. We'll be talking basketball every single week, and TJ doesn't like because I'd like to talk it way too much, but that's just how I am.
Man, I'm I don't know. The basketball team, they're young. It's gonna take them some time to come around. So we'll see where they at by.
I think by January, February, they'll be good.
We'll see where we
the
at.
Talent is there, and I believe in Ham, man. I can't doubt that man anymore.
Yeah, he's proven that. So, man, if you're looking for more coverage on all things FSU, follow the Double Fries No Slaw podcast, man. They do a good job over there. And Ritchie, I appreciate you coming on the show, giving me your 50 minutes. I appreciate that. What else I got? Oh, subscribe to the pod, hit the like button, share, and do more sharing. I'm going to try to do at least one pod, maybe 2 pods a month. I try to go 2 pods a month for the off season, man. I don't want to get, but man, it's going to be.
I'd like at least 2, Sam, because I enjoy listening to you and Brandon. I think you guys give really good perspective in an entertaining way.
It's funny though, because this pod is funny because I'm supposedly I'm irrational on the timeline. But I try to be as rational as possible on this podcast.
Yeah.
But it's just, what can you do, man? I mean, we're watching 5-win teams, 6-win teams every year. It's hard to keep the faith. And I'm one of them people, like, I've been a Jaguar fan my whole life.
That's rough.
So, I just kind of be like, dude, like, what did I do to deserve this? You know what I'm saying? I'm a Chicago Bulls fan, a Jags fan, and a Florida State fan.
Well, it's funny, the Jags, they went downhill after Jalen Ramsey came out and said, we're going to win this bitch, talking about the Super Bowl. Ever since then.
See, Jacksonville have a problem with, if they don't like a player, they don't think the player should be there anymore. Instead of being like,
no matter how good they are, right?
This player is actually really good, so we got to tolerate him being an asshole. Like, let's tolerate. They don't understand. Like, the Jaguar and the fan base goes along with this shit, right? They thought it was a good idea to trade Jalen. I'm looking at them like, that's not a good idea. Like, we had like a lot of great defensive players that they let go because of their attitudes, and I was just like, this is all stupid. So the Jacksonville just
Fowler,
yeah, Jacksonville's just a poorly run organization. And sometimes I look at the Florida State, I'd be like, are we poorly ran? I think we're poorly ran. Because when you lose this much, I think it's more than just coaching. I do. I think it's more than just an X and O thing. I think it's deep. Like, I think it's rooted into something very deep when you lose this much. Like, you're at Florida State, you should never lose this much.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
I went to Florida State in 2006 thinking I'm going to see at least one national title and probably a couple ACC championships. I didn't see any of that.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lost decade, and the lost decade really wasn't that bad.
Wasn't bad, no.
When you compare it to this, like, at least we felt like we was just mad because we wasn't winning national championships. We was mad because, I mean, we was mad we get occasional crazy loss every 3 weeks.
Yeah, like NC State or someone would upset us and we'd be pissed. Now we're like, can we beat NC State?
Now we get an occasional great win every 4 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of aggravating. It's aggravating, man. But, what can you do?
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, we all love this program, whether you're considered negative or positive or rational or irrational. We all want this program to win, right? We all want us to be good because we all want to talk shit to our rivals. Like, that's right. What we all want. And when we're not getting there, that's where the divide comes. It's like, what the heck is going on? And we all think it's something different, and we all pulled in all different directions. But man, we all love Florida State, and I always will. And that. I hope we get back. I hope we get back.
Your team is your team, man. That's what my stepdad taught me. He was like, your team is your team. Whoever you say your team is, that's got to be your team. Don't be switching teams out. So,
exactly.
I think, like I said, long term, I think Florida State's going to be fine. But in this short window, it's crazy that we're going to look at about, 6, 7, 8 years, 7 years. It was just like really, really bad football that we've watched. And
yeah,
that's
you got to go back to 2016 when we beat Michigan in the Orange Bowl, and
that's tough to explain.
Not much to celebrate since then.
Yeah, that's tough to explain, and people can, we can give out a bunch of reasons why it happened, but eventually you got to hire somebody that says, I don't give a shit about those reasons. I'm going to find a way to make it happen. I mean, I look at Mel Tucker, I'd be like, I don't know how easy it is to recruit guys to East Lansing. You're the sixth best team in that conference. He found a way. I mean, Arkansas is not an easy place to get players to come to. They found a way. They won 7 games. I mean, I'm just saying,
Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, 10 wins this year. At Ole Miss, 10 wins at Ole Miss.
I mean, this is still Florida State, man. You can recruit good players here, man.
To be fair, though, Ole Miss or Lane Kiffin did learn on the job at USC. Failed a little bit, and then it took those failures and learned from it, and look what he's doing out at USC. So shout out to him for that, man.
Hey, we got Reggie on the pod.
What's up, Reggie?
Man? Hold on, me unmute Reggie. Reggie, you got to unmute yourself. Man, it's calling show.
There you go.
What it do?
What's going on, man? How you feeling about the game, man? I was trying to get a couple calls in, but everybody kept going through traffic and stuff today.
Man, we sat down, we watched it yesterday. One of the worst
football games ever, dude.
One of the worst football games, and definitely one of the worst rivalry football games I've ever experienced.
You think it's worse than the Jimbo 80 yards of offense, like punt fest? Well, we had good defense. I don't know. That was ugly too.
Yeah, it was. Like I said, it was one of the. It was one of the. It wasn't the ugliest, but it was by far one of the. I just don't know where we go from here, bro. Like with Keir Thomas and Jermaine Johnson having those guys. and not be able to capitalize and at least get us, a 7-6 season with a bowl win. It's just real disheartening, bro. And I just don't know where we go from here. I just don't know where we go from here.
Yeah, I think that's where we at too, bro. Like it's like you could say, man, it's really good progress. They look better than they did with the 3 wins last year, but damn, dude, that's like my friend called me yesterday. He a former FSU player. I don't say his name on the pod because we talk a lot, and I don't need people knowing he give me information. But we talk, and he's motherfucker like, yo, do you know we averaging 4 wins a season with Mike Norvell? And I was like, yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. He was like, man, that's at FSU, man. This ain't Wake Forest. I was like, yeah, you're right.
In Syracuse, Boston College, right?
yeah, bro. Like, and then when you look at this and you say, damn, what kept us away from a bowl win, and that loss as an FCS school just makes it even a harder pill to swallow, man.
We were just talking about that, saying that what everyone's going to look at the Florida game. No, I'm looking at Jacksonville State.
Yeah,
that's the inexcusable loss.
That game one, we already, we lose yesterday. We finished with 6-6, still going to a bowl. You know what I mean? So it is. We're having a different story. It's a different narrative, I believe, for Mike. Yeah. Even somebody pointed out. He only faced 4 teams this year that only won 8 games or more. Like this isn't a success. This is a disappointing season. You can't say this is a successful season, man. When you hear shit like that, when you want to talk about numbers, that's some numbers for your ass right there. Just think about that, bro.
I don't know anyone calling it a success. Like it's not a success. I don't know anyone. If anyone's calling it a success, I would disagree entirely with that comment.
Yeah, but you got our fan base, Ritchie.
Well, I know it. We've been talking about it for about an hour now. But no, but at the same time, I think it can be clearly not a successful season. But what I would say is, I truly believe Mike Norvell also would say this was not a success, and he would say he's not okay with what happened this year. We'll see what happens next year, right? If he goes out and wins 8 games, great. If he goes 5-7, 6-6, I think you got to get a new coach at that point.
Yeah, and that's what James and Freddie told us that yesterday. He's like, look, the way people cape for these coaches, he said, man, these coaches don't cape for themselves. He like, you can tell Mike, you 0-4. Mike be like, you're right. Yeah. I am 0-4. You're damn right, and it sucks.
Right.
Like he's not gonna sit there and make excuse mode. He's like, no, that's the reality. That's the nature. There's no need to reach for this and reach for that. It is what it is. You know?
If you haven't already, man, make sure you like the podcast, hit the like button, and make sure you follow on Twitter, follow on social media, man, and continue. We got Ritchie here. We got my boy Reggie here, man. Reggie, I guess we'll talk about this. Because me and Reggie sitting there watching the game together at the watch party with James Coleman, and some of the in-game stuff with Norvell, I would actually like to see him kind of get a little bit better with too, Richie. What do y'all think about the in-game stuff? Because he declined some penalties that I didn't understand.
Mike's learned on the job, man.
Yeah, and that's what I kept
People
saying.
People get mad at you for that, but it's the truth, bro. He's learning. He's learning about situational football at the Power 5 level. He's learning it all, bro, right now on the go. And if you can't see that, then you just don't want to see it. I'm sorry. You just don't want to see it.
Yeah, I think I was at the game yesterday, so it's really hard to tell. Like, I've missed so much stuff, and I was drinking a lot, so there's that. But I'll rewatch the game. But as the season as a whole, I agree. The in-game stuff, you definitely want to see improvements. And I told Sam earlier, he is learning on the job. He came from Memphis, right? When you come from a Group of 5 job, you don't really know what to do. Jimbo didn't really have to learn on the job because he was here as offensive coordinator, so he knew how to run the program, right? So it was easy for Jim. Not easy, but easier.
But I think Jimbo learned though, right? I think
well,
Jimbo
2011,
learned,
I think 2011 was a learning season for Jimbo.
Yeah, and that 4-loss season he had. But I think the thing about Jimbo was a master at getting the most out of his team that day. That was his thing. Like, okay, we not got our best football today, but I'm gonna be so good situationally that we'll just win by 3 points. Because today I'm fucked up today. Like I can't. Because he did it yesterday. He has games where his offense ain't clicking. And Jimbo would get into this like turtle mode where he'll just, man, I'm gonna grind this damn clock out. We're gonna be great on special teams, punting the football, kick returning, and catching the punt, and we just gonna try to grind it out. And I think sometimes, and somebody brought this point at me. I think it was a former player brought this point at me. Sometimes you had a better players. They help you like not have to worry about situations as much, right? Because this guy can take a punt 80 yards. This guy can, run for 100 yards on a play. And Norvell has some really good players at Memphis. And when you have to play not just 3 quarters even, you got to play 4 quarters even with a team. Some coaches blank in them situations, man. I thought Auburn did a terrible job yesterday when Saban, like, once you score that touchdown against Nick Saban in overtime, you go for 2. Like, you don't keep trying to play football with Nick Saban.
You can't do that. You can't do that. It's just what you said about players. A minute and 35 left. A minute and 35 seconds left. 97 yards, bro.
Yeah.
That's nothing but talent that you saw on that fucking drive. That was nothing but pure talent. And you saw the talent on that last drive, bro. And that's why you don't try to stay in a game with Alabama. If you got a chance to knock them out, you knock them out, bro.
Yeah,
you don't play around with it.
You go for 2. You score the touchdown, you go for 2. And you don't allow him to keep adding data points to what you're doing. Like you put him out the game.
I was sitting on the couch with my wife and mother-in-law, who are 2 huge Alabama fans. So my life's been hell the past few years, as you guys could imagine. But I told him, like, as soon as Auburn didn't go for 2, I'm like, y'all gonna win. I just don't know what overtime it's gonna be in. You're gonna win the game, though.
You don't do
like
that.
He just conceded the game.
You lost the game. I mean, and I think with Mike, I think a lot of this is gonna be like, I think Bud Elliott has a good point on his analytics stuff, but I also think you have to apply common sense with some of your analytics and what your team is and what your team isn't.
Yeah.
I do think as the season went on, he actually got better with this, like knowing. But that Miami game left me scratching my head, like, why are you trying to kick a 54-yard field goal with this kicker?
No.
That's probably not a great idea, Mike. You know what I'm saying?
Declining that penalty yesterday. I'm
like, yo, your defense really ain't stopping them like that. 3rd and 20 is a lot better than 3rd and 9, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they got a 3rd and 20. That was what I
3rd and 21.
Yeah, that's when I about lost it in the
Yeah, so I just think he has to situationally get a little bit better because I don't think the talent disparity. I don't think he's. And this might be people gonna get really mad about this. I don't think he's going to over recruit 3 teams in this conference. I think he's gonna recruit on par with Clemson, maybe, and that's if Dabo leaves or stays. I think he's gonna recruit on par with Clemson. I think NC State does a good job of developing and acquiring talent. I think North Carolina's in the same part. Depending on what Miami does, I think Miami's going to have the same type of talent. So you're going to be, in college football, becoming this like NFL type style thing where all these games are going into the 4th quarter now. So your coach situationally has to be better. Like, even Bobby Bowden, to me, was not a great situational guy, but Bobby Bowden had more great players than you had great players, and they he knew to just say, hey, get the ball to Peter Ward. Hey, let's just open the spread offense up with Charlie Ward and let's just go. Like, so I got to see him recruit a lot better, man. Is he going to be able to recruit on that Kirby level that says, okay, my situation coaching don't even matter? Because Kirby's situation coaching is terrible. He's terrible in game to me, but he got Jordan Davis.
It don't matter.
He got Jordan Davis. He got the Kobe Dean.
You got the horses. It doesn't fucking matter. We seen it with some of our teams. When we had the horses, bro, it didn't matter. All those penalties we used to get, it didn't fucking matter. You know why? Because we had the dogs, we had the horses, bro.
Yeah, look no further than 2014, right? That could have been a 6-16.
But we had the guys, man.
Yeah. Think about that. That team beat a Louisville team.
And Freddie said the mindset that they had. I asked him, and he said even when we were down by 21, you still couldn't tell us. We still had the mindset. We still gonna beat their ass. Like that still was their fucking mindset through the whole thing. We're down 21.
And that shit ruined my brain moving forward because we get down 21 in games in like 2015, 16, 17. And I'm telling myself, no, we're good. We're going to win this game. And then I'm like, oh, shit. No, we're not.
those are some good times with those FSU teams, man. But you know, like I always go back to that 2014 game with Louisville. Louisville had 8 NFL defensive players on that team, I think, that year.
And they were killing us, boy.
It was killing us in the first half, and then Florida State just flips the switch and wins the game by like 2 touchdowns. Like, going away.
A completely different team, bro.
It is just like, man, at the end of the day, man, this shit is about getting the best players you can possibly secure.
And put them in the best position, bro.
And put them in the best positions and getting the best quarterback and letting it go, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know if Mike's going to be able to recruit that level. I hope he does. I think he's going to recruit even. I don't know if he's going to over-recruit a lot of these teams in the ACC. You know, but we're going to see. I mean, we'll see at the end of the day. And, like, I like Travis Hunter. I don't know how much a defensive back or wide receiver changes your win projection. I don't know. Like, I don't think they do.
What do you want to see him at? What do you want to see? I want to see him play wide receiver. I don't want to see him play DB. That's just me. But I don't, and I want people to stop thinking one player like that is going to come in here and everything's just going to be, you know.
I wish Travis Hunter was a 6'5", 320-pound offensive tackle.
Exactly.
Or Jermaine Johnson clone.
Yeah.
Or me too.
Or Jameis Winston legacy that really want to come here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really wish he was that. But I mean, he is a great player, man. But they got to they got a lot of work to do, man.
We need some receivers, man. We need some receivers, bro. We need some receivers very bad. We need some receivers. Yeah.
But hopefully they bring an attitude. Hopefully that recruiting class bring an attitude of we're going to play right now, and they push these other guys. And, man, hopefully it starts feeding itself, man. But they got a lot of work to do, man. They got a lot of work to do. And I keep telling people that I don't know the answers, but I know they got a lot of work to do. They need to find some damn solutions.
They got a lot of work.
Well, we need that Vince Williams guy that came in as a freshman and said, hey, called a freshman and said, it starts with us, right?
Yeah.
And he graduated in 2012, so he didn't get that national title. But his recruiting class built that with that mentality. And that's what we need from this class.
Yeah, you know, Jimbo was really feeding into them guys, telling them they the answers, you know. So it's just a lot of it. Mike got a lot of work to do, man. He got a lot of work, man. It's gonna be probably the most important off season he's had since he's been at FSU.
Do we make staff changes? Do y'all think? I know y'all been talking a while. Do y'all think we make any?
If he's smart, he makes at least 3. I think you have to change the wide receiver coach. I think you need to get a wide receiver coach that can help you develop your passing game better. Because I don't think it's all just counted at wide receiver. I think it's a little bit more than that.
Yeah, he's been here for several coaching staffs now.
I mean, they need to. I mean, your second best receiver can't be Ja'Kai Douglas. I mean,
who's a running back?
That's a gimmick guy. That's a gimmick guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's Kermit Whitfield. You know what I'm saying? He can't be your best. You know.
So if I set the over under at 1.5 changes that actually do happen, you think it's the over there?
I'm gonna say this: if you don't make 2 staff changes, I'm not gonna feel good about Mike Norvell because that's telling me you're not evaluating the situation properly. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't that he firing people because they're not good coaches. Sometimes you just gotta make adjustments to the staff to make the program better. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Nick Saban fires coaches or let coaches go because he think they're bad coaches. He might say, we got to get better in this situation. Like, I might have to bring a spread offense OC in here to revolutionize my offense. Not because the pro-style offense coordinator had is bad, but this is where the game's going at. He got to find a way to get a better passing game coordinator in here to help him and Dilly out with passing game and can help them make adjustments. He need to find a recruiter, a tight ends coach. I don't know if Thompson's a bad tight end coach. I think the tight ends has been okay, but how much is a tight end going to change your win projection?
You need a mercenary on the trail for the tight end coach.
Give me a tight end coach that's going to get me some 5 stars, man. Give me, you know what I'm saying? I think the defensive side, I wouldn't make a lot of changes over there. I think it's tough, man, because if Marv's going to be a subpar recruiter and Fuller's going to be a subpar recruiter, that's a bit of a problem. So what do you make the change at? Do you bring in a linebacker coach that can just flat out recruit? Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, he need to make at least 2 changes, in my opinion. Like, I would go 2.
Yeah. Reminds me of Jimbo with Rick Trickett, right? Yeah. No one would ever question Rick Trickett's ability to coach offensive linemen, right? He was elite. But 5-star kids didn't want to play for that military
They
style. They're
hated his
I don't
ass.
want none
They
of that.
hated it.
Like outside of Rodney Hudson, who was a 3-star that just loved Rick Trickett, there's not many guys out there like that. So I don't know. I do think we'll see some changes. I don't know if it'll be coaches, mutually separating, taking other jobs or something.
Right.
But
I think it'd be a bad sign if he
Fuller
don't.
comes back. Yeah, I think Fuller comes back.
I think Fuller comes back. I would probably move.
I don't have a lot of problems with him. I'd love Deloach's development, but they, as a whole, like you said, Sam, we can't look at just pockets of the season. As a whole season, linebackers are a weakness. I don't know. It's tricky. Mike's got a tough job, but he's getting paid very handsomely to figure that shit out.
I mean, you got to think about this, though. Marv can be a great coach. But if London's his starting middle linebacker, how much coach can he get out of that?
Yeah.
Like, how much can you coach that?
Yeah, it ain't, bro.
I mean, you got to get the material.
The kid is just him and Dix, bro. The kids are just running statues, man. It's just not fluid at all, bro.
Yeah.
It's just
They would be
big
great
kids, but
if it was 1990, they'd be great.
yeah,
Reminds me of, you remember Jeff Luke? Like, reminds me of him. Like, no, he's a 5-star beast. And then, it's ironically, he went to Cincinnati and led the nation in tackles after leaving Florida State. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
He just got to look at it and just be like me. I think I would keep the defensive staff the same. I think I would move Thompson, move Dugans.
I'm good with that.
I think if you make those two changes, I think maybe you upgrade your recruiting, because those guys can help recruit the defensive side also. So, but you got to get some material, man. You got to get material, man. All this coach them up shit, that's great, man. But these body types, you got to recruit those. The Alabama players are bigger because they recruit them. They're bigger. They're bigger before they even get there. They're not.
Exactly.
Not enough lettuce and goddamn beef in the world. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta have the horses in the stable, bro, if you want to win the race, man. It's just, I don't give a fuck what it is, bro. You gotta have them in the stable if you want to win the race, man. Like
Kirby even admitted it. He's like, listen, I just recruit better than a lot of these teams.
Period.
Shane Beamer said it.
Yeah.
Shit. Shane Beamer said it when they lost to Georgia. Like, listen, they got a bunch of 5-stars. What do you want me to do? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, Sam, about the whole analytics in the book and shit. When you got a team like that, you can go off that book. Yeah. Oh shit, it's 4th and 1 on my 30. I'm on my 35. Who gives a shit? I got a lineman full of 5 stars, a 5-star running back. I got the whole kit and caboodle right here. We're gonna get this 1 yard or more. No problem.
Yeah, no problem. It's easy. This what the book say. Let's do what the book say. You can do whatever you want when you got the best players, man. At the end of the day, they gotta recruit better, man. They just gotta recruit better. And people keep saying, well, they are recruiting pretty good. Yeah, they recruiting pretty good. But to get where they need to get at, they need to be swinging out the park, man. 75% hit rates.
We didn't win a national title in 2013 recruiting
pretty good
at the level that we did. That didn't get us to that level. I'm just saying.
And I don't
at a very high level.
Yeah.
And I don't compare this what we're doing to what Miami and Florida's doing, because I think Florida, when they hire Napier's gonna be a dog on the trail. He is gonna be a dog on the trail. So that's gonna change a little bit of this conversation that we're having about recruiting and how the staff is doing. Because I don't know if Napier's gonna be a good coach, but I know he's gonna recruit like gangbusters because that's what Napier does. And he's come from a staff from Alabama, and he understands how to play the game. And I'm pretty sure he's going to get Florida to play the game the way he want to play it, So that's just a different dynamic of what you got to deal with. So, man, it's going to be a tough offseason, man. That's all I'm going to say. Because, it's a lot of shit going to have to break right. A lot of shit's going to have to hit some of these. A lot of portal hits. You're going to need to hit a lot in the portal.
Spend your offseason watching Coach Ham's team, right? And then go to softball because they're gonna be good again. Soccer's about to win a national title, right? We got some good progress.
I ain't gonna lie, Rich. I burn all of it to the ground for this football team to win 10 games.
I'm not supposed to say it, but I would too outside of basketball.
I burn it all to the ground, bro. I burn it all to the ground and win 10 football games, bro. I ain't gonna get lie to y'all, bro. I would, man.
Give me the playoff and we'll talk, all right?
Bro.
I might listen then.
I might be wrong for saying that, but bro, I don't care, bro. Let me I'm all for the volleyball team. Congratulations on everything they went over there, bro. But god damn it, give me these 10 wins in football, bro, so I can get my swag back, bro. I'm losing swag over here.
Yeah, man. It's bad, bro. It's bad.
We argue with our old fan base. I got Miami Twitter coming at me, Florida Twitter coming at me. I mean, it's just rough out here, man. It's dangerous in these Twitter streets, man. So
it is.
Yeah, man. But anyway, man, we gonna wrap, man. Make sure y'all like the podcast, man. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, man. We did a good job growing this season, man. I think we added like almost 150 subscribers, man. So, slow growth, good growth, slow climb. We just like FSU, recruiting a little bit by little bit. We couldn't make the 1,000 subscriber flip overnight. It takes time. It's a
full rebuild.
It's a full rebuild over here. You know what I'm
4
saying?
years.
All right, man. Y'all been great, man. Thank y'all, man. Appreciate y'all guys coming on, man.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Yo.